Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a very special episode of ezBUCKETz. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a magnificent day so far. In today's video, I got something that I guarantee you guys are gonna love, especially if you're a big Lakers fan. We're gonna be looking into the future and talking about some NBA free agents that I believe would simply make the Lakers unstoppable for next year. With the Lakers having LeBron James on their roster, they're going to continue to try to do whatever they can to simply put LeBron in the best situation to win. And if signing another superstar is going to help LeBron James win before ultimately he retires, the Lakers are going to try to do it. That's why for this video, I'm going to be talking about some blockbuster free agent signings that I simply believe would make the Lakers unstoppable. So if you're a Lakers fan and you want to know more, you're gonna want to watch this. But quickly, before I get on with the video, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel and you love basketball, welcome to ezBUCKETz. My name is Zoom, and I make basketball videos every single day. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications to not miss any of my upcoming videos. If you watched this video and you loved it, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it, guys. It would help with the channel a lot. But without wasting any more time, let's talk about the Lakers. Looking forward to next season, the Lakers basically only have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Kyle Kuzma on their roster. With that being said, expect the Lakers to be very active during this year's NBA offseason, as they simply might have to sign more than 10 players. Whether the Lakers win the NBA championship this season or not, the Lakers are still going to have to try to build an amazing roster, as they want to surround LeBron James and Anthony Davis with the best shot of winning another title, of course while LeBron James is in the NBA. When talking about the Lakers' biggest competition right now, the Brooklyn Nets, what makes them special is their big three. And right now with the Lakers only having a big two of LeBron and AD, I wouldn't mind seeing a big three in LA. Which is why I'm making this video today, talking about the future and talking about 5 superstar free agents that I believe the Lakers can sign this offseason to create a new dynasty. The Lakers are going to create a lot of tension during this year's NBA offseason, as they're simply going to have so many available roster spots. And that's why signing the perfect players is going to almost ensure them of beating the Brooklyn Nets, maybe again and maybe for the first time. The first superstar on this list is Kawhi Leonard of the Los Angeles Clippers, and Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion, would make the Lakers legit unstoppable. Kawhi will be entering this offseason with a $36 million player option, and from what we're hearing, if the Clippers are unsuccessful during this year's NBA playoffs, Kawhi is gonna opt out and maybe sign with the new team. Ever since getting an early exit in last year's playoffs against the Denver Nuggets, there has been so many rumors of the future when it comes to Kawhi and Paul George. There has been some trade rumors surrounding Paul George. Kawhi Leonard even said himself that when it comes to re-signing, he has no plans on doing that. He wants to focus on this season, and that's what a lot of it has to do with how well Tyronn Lue leads this team this postseason. I do believe this season, Kawhi Leonard is super serious when it comes to winning. This year, he hasn't rested as much as last year. The load management title really isn't in the picture, as Kawhi Leonard is even playing in back-to-backs as we speak. During this year's NBA trade deadline, the Clippers made a bold move by trading away Lou Will in exchange for Rondo, and with that trade happening, I believe the Clippers are in full pursuit because they're afraid Kawhi might actually opt out and sign with the new team. 2 years ago, when the Raptors won the NBA championship with Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi was actually being linked heavily to the Los Angeles Lakers during the NBA offseason, and that's why this summer, if he opts out, it's going to be a very popular rumor again, as LeBron is going to want Kawhi Leonard to help the Lakers beat Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie. We've seen it in the past that when LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard are on the same team, even during the NBA All-Star Game, they are a force to be reckoned with, and him joining LeBron and AD, the NBA would go insane. I believe the only way the Lakers can get Kawhi Leonard is gonna have to be him opting out, and then the Lakers and the Clippers somehow work out a sign and trade, maybe trading Kuzma, KCP, and some draft picks. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but the point is, if a big three is gonna happen of Kawhi, LeBron, and AD, a sign and trade has to be in play. Kawhi Leonard is the best case scenario. I'm gonna be honest though, it's gonna be tough to make it work. The next superstar on this list is Chris Paul of the Phoenix Suns, and Chris Paul is one of the most popular point guards when it comes to joining LeBron James on the Lakers. During last offseason, Chris Paul was on the trade block from OKC, and the Lakers were in hot pursuit to do whatever they can to get him. A big part of why Chris Paul is being linked to the Lakers is because of his relationship with LeBron James. Those two have such a strong relationship, they are boys, and I simply believe with their leadership, NBA experience, and basketball IQ, they're almost guaranteed a championship. We've seen it this year, Chris Paul being on the Phoenix Suns, he brought the Suns from a non-playoff team to a top 2 seed in the Western Conference, which only means one thing. Even though Chris Paul is 35 years old, he's old, he still has a lot to bring to a championship contender. Chris Paul this year is averaging about 16 points per game, 8 assists, and honestly, Chris Paul is showing us no signs of aging. The only way I see Chris Paul going to the Lakers is if Chris Paul opts out of his $44 million player option, which in my opinion is very unlikely. $44 million is a lot of money to give up, and that's why I do believe he'll opt in and stay with the Phoenix Suns for one more year. With Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, the Suns are going to be competitive, and with Chris Paul still being there for potentially one more year, they might even get better. The point is though, anything could happen in the NBA if Chris Paul feels that his time is coming up, and even playing on the Suns, they can't win a championship. Going to LeBron James and Anthony Davis for a salary cut, it wouldn't be a bad idea. It makes sense if Chris Paul wants to win his first NBA championship, because so far, he has zip. He has zero. If the Lakers aren't able to get Kawhi Leonard, I believe Chris Paul is a perfect secondary option. The next superstar on this list is Kyle Lowry of the Toronto Raptors, and I believe during this NBA offseason, Lowry is going to be one of the most popular free agents as he's a UFA, an unrestricted free agent, which means he can sign wherever he wants. Kyle Lowry is a 6-time NBA All-Star. With him being 35 years old, he's kind of in the same situation as Chris Paul. I still believe he has a lot to prove, a lot to offer, and with his NBA championship experience, his leadership, and his high basketball IQ, he would 100% help the Lakers. During this year's NBA trade deadline, the Raptors were in heavy talks to ultimately trade away Kyle Lowry, potentially to the Heat, but of course nothing happened. But this year, with the Raptors doing so bad, they're not even in the playoff picture, the Raptors might actually enter a full rebuild mode, and Kyle Lowry might not want to re-sign on a rebuilding team, as his career is in the ending ages. With Kyle Lowry averaging about 17 points per game and 7 assists per game this year, shooting almost 40% from the 3-point line, I believe the Lakers want somebody like him to run their point guard position as their secondary ball handler. The only thing I'm worried about is another NBA team offering Lowry a max contract, or maybe plus $20 million. I don't believe the Lakers can offer him that much money. Maybe 15 to 20? That seems a little more realistic. So if Kyle Lowry wants to go to the purple and gold, he's gonna have to take a major pay cut when it comes to free agency. But the next superstar on this list is DeMar Derozan, and I'm gonna be honest, he's more on the realistic side when it comes to comparing to the past 3 players I just mentioned. DeMar Derozan will be entering this free agency as a UFA, same as Kyle Lowry, an unrestricted one, which means he can sign with any NBA team that he wants. If you guys don't know this, DeMar Derozan's hometown is actually California, and him going to the Lakers has been a very popular idea and popular rumor for a long time now. With the Spurs entering a full reset, full rebuild mode, they're focusing their future on Jakob Poeltl, DeJounte Murray, Derek White, and Keldon Johnson. DeMar Derozan has no interest in re-signing. He said it himself out of respect that during this offseason, he's going to go to a championship contender, as of course Derozan has 0 championships. I want you guys to put yourself in DeRozan's shoes. Imagine being on the Raptors, and then the season they trade you, they win the championship, which only means one thing. It must have taken a lot of toll on DeMar, and I genuinely believe that this offseason, he's not just going to focus on money, he wants to focus on a winning opportunity. And with the Lakers still being NBA championship favorites every year that LeBron James is on the roster, DeRozan just might want to hop on board. What I love about DeRozan is that he's still in his prime, he's still capable of putting up 20 points per game at a consistent level, and I believe the Lakers could use somebody like that, as LeBron James of course is aging. And the last player on this list is Victor Oladipo, and with him being a UFA this offseason, he's in the exact same situation as DeMar Derozan. Of course, going into free agency, Oladipo is going to try to get as much money as possible, maybe go for a max contract, but of course with Victor getting hit with so many injuries there and there, his NBA stock and value has decreased over the past few seasons. If Oladipo somehow is unable to find a good contract and comes to a conclusion that he has to take a pay cut, the Lakers wouldn't be a bad idea, as I do believe they can offer him $20 million. Oladipo is being linked to so many teams when it comes to free agency. The Heat want to re-sign him, the New York Knicks want him, but with the Lakers looking for a shooting guard that can score on a consistent basis but also be a defensive factor, Oladipo is a perfect target. In my opinion though, I do believe DeRozan is better than Depot. DeRozan is healthier, and that's why I believe the Lakers should prioritize DeRozan first, but of course if they can't get him, Depot is a better option. He's actually a better consistent shooter than DeMar when it comes to floor spacing. I do believe Depot might actually sign with the Heat though, so he's not in the realistic point of view. But the biggest question when it comes to this offseason is about Dennis Schroder and the Lakers. From what we heard so far, the Lakers offered Dennis a contract extension, about a 4-year $85 million, but he turned that down. So the Lakers want to ultimately sign a third star. It would either have to be Dennis Schroder or one of these players that I just mentioned. In my opinion though, I do believe all the players I mentioned are better than Schroder. Maybe trying to get them first wouldn't be a bad idea, and then of course if Schroder is there, he might be a good backup option, as of course he built chemistry with the roster already. But ultimately guys, this wraps up my video for today, talking about 5 free agents that I believe the Lakers should target when it comes to them being a superstar to help the Lakers win a championship next season. What's most important to me is one of your thoughts. Which one of these free agents do you believe is your favorite? Which one do you want to see happen? Put your thoughts down in the comment section down below. But other than that, take it easy, God bless, and I'll see you all next time on Easy Buckets. Woo!